Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
For the second time in 2 months, Stellantis is telling drivers of particular older vehicles to park them and stow the keys because of a deadly defect. Don't drive it until we can fix it.
Stellantis is issuing that warning again to around 247,000 drivers of vehicles with Takata airbags that can explode, shooting shrapnel at passengers. And that danger first prompted a nationwide recall of Takata airbags back in late 2014.
Fast forward to November 3rd of this year, Stellantis issued its first stop drive warning after discovering 2 deaths linked to the non-repaired airbags in older model vehicles. Today, the automaker confirming a 3rd death. Rob Maloney joins us now live with the very latest. Rod, drivers ignore recalls for any number of reasons, but in this case, the consequences can be deadly, and the fix is pretty quick and easy.
Yes, it is. And in fact, a lot of people don't know about this or perhaps didn't receive a recall notice. But here's the thing. These vehicles are old, okay? They're pushing almost 15, 20 years old. And the problem is that these airbags deteriorate as they get older, making them that much more dangerous. See, this mint condition 2008 Chrysler 300, it could just as easily be right off of the showroom floor. And we surprised its owner, Arnold Petty of Southfield, in telling him he's not supposed to be driving it around.
Well, it's a great concern because I drive it, my wife drives it, we have another car, but we both drive it on and off, so, it's a concern.
In all, there are just under 300,000 nationwide needing this fix. They are model years 2005 to 2010 of the Chrysler 300, the Dodge Magnum station wagon, and the Dodge Challenger and Charger. If you own one of these vehicles, you're urged to call this number, 833-585-0144. FCA US will arrange for a free tow, even an Uber, and these repairs take less than an hour on average. Now, Stellantis' Eric Main says the reason for this urgent outcry is since the last notice like this in November, a Takata airbag deployed in an accident, fatally shooting shrapnel at yet another driver.
We offered to make arrangements to repair the vehicle free of charge like we do for everyone, and that opportunity was declined. Sadly, the vehicle was then loaned to a family member, and the family member was killed.
I never got a recall on it, so, that's why it's a little surprising to me that you're coming up to me now saying something, so yeah. I'll get it checked.
And it's a good thing he's going to get it checked. Now, it could also be that he's not part of the recall, but there's a very easy, simple way to find out if your vehicle is in fact involved. You can give either your license plate or your VIN number on a special website. We have it linked at clickondetroit.com. Please make sure your family stays safe. Check out the number. You can get it right there, again, on clickondetroit.com. Reporting live in Dearborn, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Such important information, and as you said, a quick and easy fix. Thank you, Rod.
Well, the man accused of threatening people at a local synagogue was in court today for a preliminary hearing. Hassan Shakur of Dearborn is charged with ethnic intimidation for an incident in the parking lot of Temple Bethel in Bloomfield Township back on December 2nd. Today, he remained calm, in contrast to his previous angry outbursts at judges. Video shot on Shakur's own phone was played in court, showing him aggressively shouting at parents and young children from his car. Today, a parent who was there that day said she was terrified and that the actual incident was worse than what the video shows.
So you would agree with me, ma'am, that that is the accurate depiction of what was said that day?
I will caveat that this went on for a lot longer than this portion right here, and I could continue to hear horrible things being yelled. Even though the video was moving this way, he was still facing and screaming out his window towards us.
What he said was deplorable.
The defense attorney today suggested Shakur wasn't actually threatening anyone at the synagogue, but was talking about the state of Israel. The judge will determine if the case moves forward on January 5th. He is also facing a federal charge for lying on a gun purchase form shortly after the incident at the Temple Bethel.
The committee investigating the January 6th insurrection votes to approve criminal referrals against former President Trump. The vote came during the committee's 11th and final public meeting today. The committee unveiled 4 criminal charges, including obstruction, conspiracy to defraud the U.S., and inciting an insurrection. This marks the first time in history that a congressional committee has recommended the Department of Justice launch a criminal investigation into a former president.
In addition to being unlawful, as described in our report, this was an utter moral failure and a clear dereliction of duty.
It will now be up to the Department of Justice to decide whether it will pursue any charges. No response yet from the former president.
It's a move to not only raise wages for restaurant workers, but also improve their working conditions and their benefits. However, the legislation proposed today by Representative Rashida Tlaib is getting some pushback. Our consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live tonight. And Hank, the restaurant industry has really been hit especially hard during the pandemic.
Christy, you're absolutely right. And you talk to servers, bartenders, and they'll tell you it's been tough the last few years. But then you also talk to the restaurant owners and management who are now spending so much more just to keep the doors open. The pandemic did a number on so many businesses across the country, but few industries hit harder than the hospitality industry. Restaurant employees here in Detroit and all over the area, especially taking a big financial hit. Representative Rashida Tlaib says it's time to change that.
Even as our restaurant workers came back to work, as you all know, it became clear, though, that too many of our workers are living paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet.
Tlaib fighting for the Restaurant Workers Bill of Rights, a comprehensive effort to improve everything from wages and health care to overall working conditions.
We're trying to push including a requirement for paid family and medical leave, super important for many of our restaurant workers. The right to health care and bodily autonomy, including ensuring that every American has equal access to comprehensive, quality, and affordable health care.
Those working in the industry right now say it is long overdue.
Sometimes I feel like 24 hours are not enough with the wages in the industry so low. I have to work multiple jobs in order to pay my bills. Trying to support myself and my 2 children, feed us, I barely have enough time for myself and my children because I'm busy earning a living.
However, some restaurant owners who themselves are struggling to keep up with the high cost of almost everything to stay open say raising wages, not the answer.
Eggs today were $53 a case. We normally pay $17 a case for eggs. Yeah, add increased wages to that. Listen, if the customers like their service, they'll tip them.
Everybody dealing with the high cost of almost everything within the grocery store. Tlaib working to push this forward right now, but as you can imagine and as you would likely expect, there'll be a lot of debate before anything is finalized. We're live here tonight downtown. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank, Local 4.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Hank.
Well, an iconic Metro Detroit clothing brand is expanding, bringing more than 100 new high-paying jobs to the area. Dearborn-based Carhartt is spending $4.7 million in response to increased demand. That'll come in the form of 125 new jobs in product design, digital marketing, customer care, and operations. The pay isn't bad either. The new positions will average more than $43 an hour or almost $90,000 a year, plus benefits. A state grant of $937,000 helped Carhartt choose Dearborn as the place to bring those jobs. Carhartt currently employs 644 employees in Michigan and 5,500 worldwide. It wasn't pretty, but the Detroit Lions got another big win on the road on Sunday.
They did. Their 2017 victory over the Jets splits the team at 7 wins, 7 losses. Not bad, 500. Remarkable considering they started the season 1-6. They're the talk of the league, and they are the talk of Detroit sports right now. But if you're a casual fan, okay, I might have raised my hand. You might have mentally checked out after that slow start.
I know. So fear not. Hobie Artigue is here to get you ready for all the Lions talk you're probably going to hear at those holiday parties. I know I was peppering you with questions on the commercial break. Like, okay, explain it to me.
How's it going to happen?
Here's a crash course on what you need to know. And we're here to help you, too.
Right,
from 1-6 to 6-1 since then, it's been quite the reversal for the Lions as they continue to fight for a playoff spot. And if you're really wondering, what's gotten into this team? Have no fear. We got you covered with 4 things that are standing out to us during this comeback story.
We're making the play. We're making the play to finish it out instead of doing the other way that ends up costing us.
One thing that's standing out, the play of Jared Goff.
Touchdown, Lions!
In these last 7 games, he's tossed 11 touchdowns, including the game winner Sunday, while throwing only 1 interception. Give his O-line credit, too. Goff's been sacked only 6 times in 7 games, including 0 allowed in the last 2. Good quarterback play, that's helped by good receivers, and the Lions have one in Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been on the receiving end of 35% of Goff's completions during this 6-1 stretch. On Sunday, he also eclipsed 900 receiving yards this year, becoming the first player in franchise history to do that in each of his first 2 seasons. And how about that defense? The Lions, broken at the beginning of the season, now holding strong. In their first 7 games, this team gave up 29 points a game, but in their last 7, they've given up 19.9 per. On that side of the ball is where you'll find some key rookies too, and not only Aiden Hutchinson. Kirby Joseph is stepping up in the secondary, 3 picks on the year, all coming in the last 7 games. And how about James Houston, making his NFL debut in Week 12 and has made an impact ever since, recording 5 sacks in the last 4 games. Multiple players stepping up as the wins start to multiply, with a potential playoff spot at play. And of course, this story's still not over yet. The Lions have 3 more games to go. They'll need some help to reach the playoffs, and they'll also need to keep winning starting this weekend in Carolina as they try to reach the playoffs for the first time since the 2016 season.
It's pretty exciting, right?
It is. You always want your team to be in the hunt at the end of the year, if not in the playoff picture or in the bracket right now, at least kind of hanging around there until the very end.
We'll
and
take
the Lions
any
are doing
hope.
just that.
Any hope. Yes, hope is good. Thanks, Hobie. All right, we'll talk a little bit about the weather. It is a cold one out there tonight, Christy.
Sure is. Kim? Out there, it is chilly. Temperatures right now are in the 20s, 24 in Howell, 23 in Pontiac, 27 in Adrian, and also at Metro. Winds are not that strong, so we're not too concerned about wind chills, but it's still chilly. 24 in Howell, 19 the current wind chill in Ann Arbor, 23 in Pontiac, 19 in Mount Clemens, 27 downtown. Your evening planner will have mostly cloudy skies up until midnight tonight. It will be dry this evening, but we have big changes at the end of the week. As you've probably already heard, a major winter storm is going to affect all of Metro Detroit. Rain to snow Friday sometime in the morning hours, and then gusty winds arrive, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and also sub-zero wind chills for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Best way to keep up to date on all the latest weather and to have the interactive radar right in the palm of your hand is with our Forewarn weather app. It is absolutely free. Just go to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the Forewarn weather app today.